Okay, we're working again.
I think she also does.
Right. So hopefully by now we've got some total numbers of fish based on number 9 and number 10. I'm betting they're probably different. Please, Nika, go ahead. Yes.
I have the same one I got. Yeah, 5,000.
Yes, you had 5,000 and you had 3 total?
Yeah, yes. And then, but I did approximately 1,666 over 7/10.
And that's totally fine.
Is that okay?
That's totally fine. When you get, some of you are going to be getting pretty nasty numbers. I mean, I tried using 50 and 50 to get 100. Generally speaking, can get you nice numbers too. Does anybody have really nice numbers for their answers in 9 and 10? Like, oh, there are 2,500 fish in the lake, or there are 500 fish in the lake, or something like that. Yeah. And then some of you are getting some pretty hellacious numbers. That's okay. Life is full of hellacious numbers. Next time you ever build anything out of wood and you're taking measurements, I built our son a fort years ago. We'll make it a lab for y'all later. And I measured this thing to be an 8-foot by 8-foot by 8-foot by 8-foot fort. And by the time I drilled holes in the basalt, put supports in, brought it up to the top, I guarantee it was not perfect 8 feet, perfect 8 feet, perfect 8 feet. It was 8 feet and maybe 3/16 of an inch here. Maybe this one over here was 7 3/4. It looks like a square. When you sit inside it, and you were up there having fun and ziplining out of it, it looks square, but it definitely is not perfect numbers. So dealing with nasty numbers is part of this class, so don't you worry. I appreciate that input though. Okay, so you got some numbers in 9 and 10? Now, how different are your numbers in 9, 10, and 6? Because 6 you had your first estimate, right? Back in 6, as we did this last week, you had your first estimate of how many fish are in the lake. So you have a number in 6, you have a number in 9, and you have a number in 10. How different are those numbers for y'all? Raise your hand if the answer is very different. They are very different from each other. Go ahead, and I'll let you decide what that means. I'll let you decide what very different means. How many of you have numbers that are fairly close to each other in number 6 and number 9 and number 10? And why, remind me again, why we're all raising our hands to answer differently. Some of us are saying they're very similar, some of us are saying they're very different. Some of you might not know how to answer that yet. Why are they different at all? Because you each got different numbers of fish. Chris, go ahead. Same answer. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Thank you a million. How does experiment in science work? So for example, suppose you're interested in this kind of a thing. Do scientists tend to work in isolation? Or do they tend to collaborate with other scientists? They tend to collaborate with other scientists. Now sometimes, I mean, depending if you're studying ice cores at Antarctica's south tip, the south pole of Antarctica, maybe you don't have any company down there because nobody in their right mind wants to live down there 6 months out of the year. But generally speaking, scientists have people they work with and do research with. So what we're going to do now is, I'm going to have you all come back up here into our spreadsheet. And I want you to write your results here and here for the experiments you did. Each one of you on a line. For example, trial 1, this is the one we did on the first day of the class. You all sampled 50 bass out of the lake. I'm going to put all of you sampled 50. And in trial 2, that you just did today, you also sampled 50 out. So I'm going to go ahead and, not 650, 50. I'm going to go ahead and fill those in for us. How's that sound? I'm going to hit bold. I'm going to make it bold. I'm going to center it. I'm going to make the font bigger so it's easier to see. How's that? Is that good? And I'm going to copy that down. I don't know how many of us there are, but I'm going to copy it down. What I want you all to do is to come up here and add your numbers next to those 50s.
The one we chose.
The one you got when you got the F9. F9 was giving you a new number each time, yes? So does that make sense, everybody? Come on up here. Give me a number here and a number here for both of you, yes? Is this fair? Are we seeing this? We buying this, people? Make you walk a lot today. It's like an HHP class. Jerk. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yes. So Jessica, what we're doing right now, I'm going to change the camera so you can see the screen better. Just so you know, Jessica, oh, I lost my little stand. We're adding in you're gonna get these in a second, I'll read them off to you. But what you're getting is, you're getting a, uh-oh, I just touched something on the screen, I hope that didn't break. Hi, Jessica. We're getting the results of all the experiments. So you're gonna add yours in there too. And we're not, because we can't talk to you right now because I'm talking to a camera, like it's a telephone, which is not how cameras work, generally speaking. But, so you just do yours with all of them and your data, and we'll not use your data because we don't have it. Okay, and I'll tell you what these are in a second so you have them. I'm gonna turn the camera back off.